Time to change the tone. James Creedon joins us from Media Watch. We start with a hashtag on French social media that is supporting a 16-year-old girl, 16, who spoke out against Islam.
So this is a girl called Mila, 16 years of age, from near Grenoble. And on her Instagram, on the 18th of January, she sings and she publishes some of what she sings on social media, and she was interacting with some of her followers, and it went down a track of talking about, amongst other things, religion. And she said, "I don't like religion." She went on to say that the Quran is a religion of hate. And the Quran, of course, is not a religion, it's a religious text.
There's a certain ignorance of the way she's expressing
exactly.
This, that's already apparent, yeah?
Indeed, and she went on to use, she said, Islam is bleep. So it was provocative language. It was, from the point of view of those who would be religious, blasphemous language. And what then ensued was a wave of hate speech against her. So what has emerged now is people supporting her because of the fact that she's a 16-year-old who was expressing her opinion about religion online. Je suis Mila. And of course, the Je suis hashtag in France evokes memories of Charlie Hebdo, the satirical weekly that is often accused of provocative imagery, cartoons and whatnot that would be, I suppose, considered by some blasphemous. But what you've had is a lot of people, for example, Raphael Enthoven, a well-known commentator and philosopher here in France, sort of left-wing figure. He is using the hashtag Je suis Mila and sharing from pages of Charlie Hebdo from what his point of view is what Charlie Hebdo did in visual form. This teenager was kind of saying things of a similar ilk, and the same arguments and debates then emerge that you have a right to say whatever you want, even if it is deemed blasphemous. Now, what has happened since then, Mark, is that the Paris prosecutor has opened 2 investigations, one into death threats, because some of the hate speech against her went that far, and another into whether or not she provoked racial abuse, whether there was a racist element to some of the things that she said that might have provoked the hate speech. Now, that's got a lot of people criticising the public prosecutor, including Marine Le Pen and others, saying that, basically people rallying in behind this teenager and saying that the public prosecutor really needs to defend her and not investigate whether or not she said things that could have
I'm not quite sure
justified
what Marine Le Pen supporting her is going to do for her case, but there you go. I mean, it's kind of inevitable that she would, I suppose, Marine Le Pen.
That's it. So it's one of those thorny issues that comes back in France, unfortunately, again and again, and it always comes down to a lot of people taking the position that free speech is the more important value, even if it offends people. There have been Facebook pages and whatnot set up in her support. People, even well-known cartoonists, sending her messages in cartoon form that are encouraging her and supporting her. And there's even a petition which hasn't had a massive amount of signatures, but a petition has been set up as well to provide her with police protection. Bearing in mind she has now stopped going to school because the trauma of the wave of hate speech that she then was on the receiving end of meant that she just felt she couldn't go to school. So I think
there needs to be a call for calm and reasonable action on all sides here, doesn't there, really? Because this girl clearly has said things that she doesn't understand.
That's it.
By the way she's expressed it, that's clear.
That's it.
And the people who are offended maybe need to sort of think about, hang on a minute, should we really be aggressive towards this kid? Because she is just a child, and then take it from that. But once you've lit that blue touch paper, anything can happen, can't it?
That's it. This is where internet and social media can be a dangerous space.
Okay, so we're watching that one. Next, a hate figure online. A woman who knowingly duped authorities into letting her into France despite having symptoms of the coronavirus. That's the virus, of course, which is started in Wuhan in China.
That's it. Now, various media, local media, have been commenting on this. It's been picked up by other less sort of well-known websites, and she's been dubbed as selfish Wuhan girl with fever and cough eats medicine to trick airport health control so she can travel. Now, that's basically how it's being reported. What happened is she went on to she shared photos on WeChat and Chinese Weibo, various social media, showing that she was in Paris and that by taking various quantities of medication had managed to suppress her fever and get around checks. She herself more or less said, look, I have the symptoms of this. Here I am in Paris. I'm sitting on Café Terrasse. I'm eating fancy restaurants.
Because now in the area around Wuhan, they're taking sort of forehead readings of fever level, aren't they? Temperatures and stuff like that. They're really checking people. Yeah?
That's it. So what she did, Mark, is she went online and she said, "Bonjour Paris. As someone from Wuhan, I did not have any special screening, and my temperature wasn't tested individually." She went on to say, "Here I am eating good food, Michelin-starred cuisine. But before I left home in Wuhan, I had a fever and cough, so I was afraid that I wouldn't get on the flight. I quickly took medicine and kept taking my temperature until I managed to make it past immigration."
This is raising all manner of questions, isn't it?
She's obviously not going to be appreciated for that, sharing all those pictures online. The Chinese embassy in Paris managed to make contact with her, and apparently she has been sent to a hospital for screening. So that's reassuring.
So we will watch to see how that one develops, but clearly alarming that it has happened at all.
Indeed.
James, never allow me to see you, sir. Always a pleasure. Thank you. James with the Media Watch. Kate with the business as well. Thank you. And thanks to you for watching, because without you, it's not worthwhile. So please stay with us. Live from Paris.